Hello oder Elaf, sage ich heute mal. Es ist Faschingszeit, ich weiß nicht, ob ihr das feiert, also nur für den Fall. In den letzten Wochen wurde ich mehrfach angesprochen nach Simon Parkes und Anon Ra. Nun habe ich euch mitgeteilt, dass auf Telegram der Kanal von Anon Ra geschlossen ist. Und Simon Parkes hat noch einen Telegram-Kanal, sogar in Deutsch, den könnt ihr gerne aufsuchen. Da sind aber meine Videos nicht dabei, sondern von ihm bzw. seinen Anhängern erstellte, übersetzte Videos. Ich selbst habe jetzt noch 2 von ihm herausgesucht, die mich damals ziemlich stark interessiert hatten, als ich davon erfahren habe. Und in dem Fall mit den Reptiloiden sind viele auf mich zugekommen und haben mir ganz ähnliche Geschichten erzählt. Von daher seid gespannt, diejenigen, die das noch nicht kennen, werden jetzt sicher etwas staunen. Was Anon Ra betrifft, so habe ich meines Wissens schon alles auf meinem Kanal von ihm hochgeladen, was über David Icke zu finden war. Wenn darüber hinaus noch Interesse besteht, von ihm übersetzte Polly-Videos zu sehen, kann sich hier in den Kommentaren melden. Dann schaue ich mal. Es gibt aber nur ältere, nichts Neueres mehr. Dann kann ich aber mal nachschauen, was ich noch finde. Ja, dann erstmal viel Spaß bei diesem Simon Parkes Video.
Susan says, because I was already struggling in a bad dream, I woke with a start in fight mode. In my darkened room, I saw a large, blacked out figure with broad shoulders. I could not detect physical features. I angrily glared at this figure and was ready to pounce, but then, I imagine, he spoke to me in my mind. He said he woke me from the dream with a shove to my right hip because I was too tired and wouldn't have been able to do it myself, like I normally would. I grunted, accepting this answer, then turned my back and went to sleep. Do you think this was real? I didn't seem to know this large, 7 to 9 foot tall man, so why on earth would I turn my back on him? Who or what do you think he was?
Well, of course it was real. I was a reptilian, there's no question of that. Broad-shouldered, 7 foot to 9 foot as reptilian. I don't think it's necessarily good. We can't be sure, but we can be nearly sure. You turn your back on him because he'd already gone into your mind and told you everything was okay. You need to go to sleep. Incredibly psychic creatures, able to get into people's minds and play all sorts of tricks. The question is what it was after and what it was doing, and whether that's the first time. Might be not the first time, but the first time that you remember it. This may have been going on since you were a child, or it might have been that you'd inadvertently done something. Some people can handle an ancient object, a sacred object, or they find an old book in a bookstore that's 300 years old, and these things can activate, or they see a horror film, or they play a horror game on a computer, or they have a book that's a horror book, and even something like that can let something in. That's why in this house, absolutely no horror books, don't have any horror films, keep them away, because that's how these other entities can come through, and we're having to fight with quite enough as it is. Thank you very much. So there often is a reason why something will come to you. It might be generational through the family. There is just a very small chance that it is opportune. You know, like you park your car and you go into the store, and unfortunately you leave your wallet in view and someone steals it because they just walked past at that moment. That can happen, but in most cases it's planned and meticulously worked out. They don't use money, but they have time and energy, and for somebody to come all this distance to stand in a room and just say, oh well, I woke you out of a dream because you wouldn't have done it, that's not happening. I think you were probably given the dream, and then just being and interacting with you. So what I'm saying to you is that don't just look at the moment the creature arrived and what happened. You need to look at the lead up to it, because often they will manipulate the circumstances around or the situations before. They don't normally manipulate after the event. Once it's all over, that's generally truthful, and what you see is what you get. But just because things seem to be okay 2 minutes or 3 minutes before this happened, that could still be something that you need to look at. So yes, it's true, absolutely it's true. Your story matches time and time and time again people from every walk of life, from every language on the planet, basically. Same type of experience, same type of thing. And the most important question is, why you?
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rules. It made the children laugh and play, laugh and play, laugh and play. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. And so the teacher turned it out, turned it out, turned it out. And so the teacher turned it out, but still it lingered near, and waited patiently about, patiently about, patiently about, and waited patiently about till Mary did appear. Why does the lamb love Mary so, Mary so, Mary so? Why does the lamb love Mary so? The eager children cried. Why Mary loves the lamb, you know, lamb, you know, lamb, you know. Why Mary loves the lamb, you know, the teacher did reply. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow.
Fiction, it's not fiction. More than 50% of the films that you've just shared with us are more than fiction. They're actually reality. History, people call it a soft disclosure. It's much more than that. From time to time, individuals or individual are tasked or permitted to release something very serious, and often those people don't have the knowledge themselves. It's given to them. We want you to write a film, and this is the topic, and these are the key elements you will put in, and we will ensure that you get the funding you need to make that film. That's how it happens. Sometimes a person has the knowledge and they go and they get the funding for it, but in a film of that sizable movement, which is the Matrix films, Jupiter Ascending, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and there's a whole list of them. It's much more than the febrile, mad mind of somebody who suddenly wakes up having had a nightmare and wants to do a film. This is planned. It's organized. Many of these people, have their own experiences. We talk about Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek, how he had his own experience, and that led him on to research and to understand. But in many cases, it is the United States military or one of the PSYOP groups of a 3-letter agency who, as part of an experiment, want certain information to be released. But it's not just about the bad guys. The good guys will do it. The good guys will want to warn people. Look at the Matrix. Try deeply to see and understand what that whole message is about, and then try to match that to what is happening on Earth today, and you will find that there's an uncanny match. That it's actually, I don't want you to become, think it's all over and we can't win. What I'm saying is that the outcome that is shown isn't necessarily the outcome that we will have, but the route that those films take and the activities that occur on the film are very closely mirroring the route that we are taking here on the Earth and the activities that are taking place. So, either it's the elite poking a finger at us and laughing and saying, you are all so stupid, we're actually showing you what we're going to do to you, and you're all going to accept it, so therefore it will happen. Or somebody's trying to say, you better wake up, because this is what is intended for you, and this is the trap. So either way we look at it, we are being handed a piece of information. Goodness knows, 10 years ago I went and, like others, were doing clips from Hollywood films and saying how they alerted people. There's things from the Simpsons. I know some fake stuff, but there's some real stuff from the Simpsons and many Hollywood films who 10 years in advance of the towers coming down already knew about it. How can they know about it? Did they have a crystal ball? Did they have a time machine? Or did the very people who were going to do this actually say to them, we need you to cover this? So what we're looking at is a valuable conduit of information which those of us who are awake and aware can see what is projected to occur. But for the vast majority of asleep humans, it's just a nice, exciting science fiction film.